Welcome back to another video with the podcast guys. If you like what we have to say, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the channel. What we might be saying may help somebody that you know. So let's get into our next topic.
Yeah, so today we're going over, you may have seen it. There's a viral list going around that I think like a group of women made. It's a list of 28 restaurants, bars, venues that women are no longer accepting as a first date option. So now we have to, on top of everything else, we now have to save this list into our phones and keep in mind that women are not accepting these 28 places as a first date. So I'm not going to read all of them off one by one, but I'll highlight a few that are on here.
We'll go through a handful.
Yeah.
But you guys can see the list here on the screen. So
Cheesecake Factory, the movies, nightclubs, hookah bars, a buffet, fast food chains. So there's like a variety of stuff on here. So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, why do ladies have to be so picky about where they go on the first date?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. You're going on a first date. It's really not about where you're going. It's about getting to know the other person, getting to know their likes, their interests, what they don't like, maybe some things you have in common, some stories that you have to tell each other. Why does it have to be so deep about, well, you know, I don't want to go to Starbucks, or I don't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory, or I don't want to go to IHOP, you know, or McDonald's. What's really the big deal? I mean, I don't see the big deal in it. I don't think any lady should see the big deal into it. I mean, guys are simple. Guys don't care. They'll go anywhere they feel is most convenient. But ladies, come on. I mean, let's get past the first date and moving forward before we start being judgmental right on the first date. That's what I think. I think ladies are being way too over the top.
Number one, right out the gate, the fact that they created a list is ridiculous, okay? And it's not even like a simple list. It's 28, which I'm sure they're going to add to it. It's 28 different like venues that we're not allowed to take them on a first date. And the second thing that comes to mind is like, you know, on top of their already delusional standards with the height and the salaries and lifestyle and everything, now we also can't take them on a first date to a specific place. We now have to make sure we spend $200, $300, $400 on that first date to prove ourselves to these so wonderful modern women, right?
Well, that's the case here, that these places, you know, you're looking at Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, Cheesecake Factory, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster. Those places don't fall within the range of a $300, $400, $500 or more date on the first date, which women want. I mean, what do you have to offer on that first date that a guy should be like, hey, let's go all the way in and spend $800 on a dinner?
The problem is that women have this relatively new concept that a man has to somehow like prove himself on that first date. Like they have this stupid mentality of like, well, if he's not willing to spend $200-$300 on the first date, then that means he's cheap and I shouldn't even waste my time with him. That's how women think now. It's so stupid. The reality is guys don't have a problem spending money on dates. This isn't a matter of being cheap or not wanting to spend money. It just makes absolutely zero sense for a man to invest money on his first date if it's his first time meeting you. The first date is not to spend $300. It's to sit down at whichever place. Doesn't really matter where it is. Get to know each other, talk, vibe it out, see if you like each other, see how the conversation goes, get to know each other a little bit. And then you could think about a more expensive date on the second or third date. But the idea that we're supposed to take you to some extravagant place on the first date is crazy. Plus, think about this. Nowadays, realistically, you kind of have to play a numbers game. As a man, you're not just going to like go on 1 or 2 dates and find a woman that things work out with. Like for men, you really have to like aggressively date. Like go on, if you really want to meet somebody, you have to be like constantly on apps and like meeting people all the time. We would go broke if we took women out to expensive restaurants every time. So let's take a look at this list, right? A majority of these on here are restaurants. There are a few on here that I will say I would never take a woman on a first date anyway. You're not taking a woman to a fast food chain. I'm not taking her to Buffalo Wild Wings. But like, you know, some of these I think are fine. Like Cheesecake Factory, what's wrong with that? Out for drinks, I think that's a great date. Hookah bar, another cool chill place. Bowling, so. But what were you gonna say?
Question for you: what would you consider on this list that women are right about, that are reasonable here? Because I do see a few that it wouldn't make sense to start on a first date right off the bat.
Fast food chain, I would never take a girl to a fast food chain. The gym, church, like those aren't dates, you know what I mean? So I could see why that's on there. But, you know, so far as like some of the restaurants, I mean, Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, I probably wouldn't do either. Olive Garden. Sport events, I think that's a cool date. I think that's pretty cool. I don't see why I wouldn't want to do that.
I see that maybe as a cool fourth, fifth date, not a first.
You know what? To kind of simplify it, like, for me, I don't care like which restaurant it is. It's just don't expect me to spend $300 on the first date. I don't care which restaurant it is. We could go for drinks. We could go for dinner. We could go for dinner and drinks. And another thing is like there's this kind of like debate now whether men should pay or split the bill. I think men should absolutely pay. I think it's a wrong way to start off by like splitting the bill or asking her to pay or something. I think men should pay, but at the same time, it's got to be reasonable. You can't spend $300 on a first date.
Absolutely. If a guy is inviting you out, asking you out on a date, because that's what's typically going to happen, it's a rarity that a woman's going to ask a man out on a date, then a guy's got to pay. That's understood. But you have to understand that if he's asking you out on a date, you as the woman out on a date, he's going to pick and choose where he takes you. It's as simple as that. It doesn't obviously have to be a movie night, a Netflix or a Hulu or a Netflix and chill type of function, because obviously you want to make sure you're both comfortable before you get to that point.
And I get where women are coming from. We shouldn't take you to a fast food chain on a first date. Like it's also got to be reasonable from the man's side. Like take her to like a nice restaurant. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with that. Go to a nice bar. So I get where women are coming from. They don't want to be given like a trash first date. I guess that makes sense. But
you got to admit though.
But making a whole list of like don't take us to any of these, it's ridiculous.
I say women that make a list or stick to a list like this, they actually deserve to be taken out to a McDonald's or some sort of fast food.
You know what would be a good idea? Maybe we'll do another episode.
Just to teach them a lesson, just so they learn.
We should make our own list of where we would go on a first date, or what are our expectations, and it wouldn't even be 28. It would probably be like 3 or 4.
Yeah, because guys are simple, and I think that'd be fair. If women get to make a list, guys should be able to make a list as well. I mean, equal rights.
They're making a list, like... something worth mentioning is like honestly, if a girl likes you, she's not really gonna care where you take her, and that's the main problem with this list in general is that women set these high expectations, and we know as guys that most of the time these girls don't give a shit about the date. It's not really they're not invested into that date in any way. So
I think the important thing that a woman should look out for is that if he's putting effort on the date, he's showing up on time, he's being a gentleman, he's showing up, period. And he's doing the best he can to make a second, third, fourth, and onwards dates happen, or relationship, something to come out of it. I think those are the things that women should see.
They should focus on how the guy's dressed, how he talks, how he acts, smells good, hair's on point, beard or whatever is on point. That's what matters. But like setting this expectation of like, oh, we need to go to like a steakhouse on the first date. So what is she going to expect on the third and fourth date?
She's going to expect a vacation to the Bahamas.
Oh, we're having dinner at the White House, South Lawn. So
anyway, I think this was good to touch on because it's important for women to see that men aren't going to follow no damn list.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
So you better cut it out. I mean, there's some things again that are reasonable to not have on the first date. Again, church, the gym, family function. I wouldn't want to introduce a woman that I'm meeting for the first time to my family or family members, and then there's no second date, and then my family's asking me for the next few months what happened to that girl. So yeah, hookah bar, nightclubs as well. you can't really. It's too loud.
It's too loud.
Can't
too
really.
loud. I'm not a fan of like a club or something like that on
You
the
can't
first
really
date.
connect there. It's tough. So
Movies
or a
also,
bar.
you're sitting in silence, like while watching a movie for 2 hours. You need to be able to sit down and talk. So
hear each other talk, connect. That's important. You know, maybe I would add like a walk to the park. That would be cool. You know, maybe an activity outside. You can go. You know, maybe play some games or something. Whatever. Something basic.
as long as you could sit down, talk, get to know each other on the first date, that's the purpose. Let's wrap it up. That was just a quick little fun video we wanted to do. So
Subscribe, like the video, and follow us for more.